Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now the beginning of March of 2023, and there's been a lot of problems happening over at Lucasfilm, specifically with the Kathleen Kennedy projects only, that are being, of course, for the Acolyte series and the Skeleton Crew TV show, which, by the way, has been listed as far as the most toxic projects for cast and crew in the Disney Star Wars history as we speak. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, today I want to go over something very specific that Deadline put out, and something that we ourselves actually talked about before in the past, that had a lot to do with the Acolyte series really being a very problematic show, and going through a lot of terrible situations, including this one in particular. We're going to be covering everything that Deadline had to talk about when it comes to Kathleen Kennedy and, of course, Karyn McCarthy, that has to do with the Acolyte series. So let's tap into everything of what's happening. So as Deadline reported, Lucasfilm sued for axing a producer, Karyn McCarthy, from Star Wars series The Acolyte. Now, this is a very interesting story because we did touch on this a little bit a couple of months ago. It's been something that has been brewing behind the scenes, and it's exactly why we were talking about how there has been a lot of creators that were being fired from the Acolyte, handed, of course, a pink slip here and there, but let's dive into exactly what's going on. So, this is a disturbance in the Force, they say. On the same day it became public that Star Wars projects from Kevin Feige and Patty Jenkins are now dormant, Lucasfilm has been hit with a breach of contract lawsuit over the upcoming The Acolyte. Now, Baller's executive producer, Karyn McCarthy, has taken the Kathleen Kennedy-run Disney division to court over being pink-slipped from the Leslie Headland-created series last year after just a few weeks of work. What makes this action all the more bitter and telling of streamer competition for top talent in the UTA repped McCarthy was being actively courted by Apple at the same time to help run their eventual Colin Farrell starring PI series Sugar, according to the March 7th filing, read it here of course, by Glazer Whale. Now, on top of this, alright, Lucasfilm and the Acolyte in early April of 2022, McCarthy found herself in an employment Death Star and no cash to show for it at the sudden end, it seems. Continuing, they say, or put in bottom line terms, as a result of its bad faith and wrongful termination, defendants deprived Miss McCarthy significant employment from which she would actually have earned millions of dollars over the life of the series. After setting up the corporate pursuit by Apple and Lucasfilm and how McCarthy was the choice for the Acolyte, the jury-seeking complaint details how she got to work quickly on April 7th, 2022, and how a broad strokes agreement full of UK hotel allowances and per diems was sent to her agent David Morris on April 11th. In fact, in that email to Morris from Lucasfilm BP Physical Productions Candace Campos, the exec makes a point of saying how we really want to make this work, then it all seems to go wrong fast. 2 weeks later, without explanation, without reason, without justification, Lucasfilm told McCarthy it wanted out of the deal, reads the 12-page filing in Los Angeles Superior Court. By this time, the Apple offer was gone. Apple had to move on and found another executive producer for Sugar. McCarthy now had neither deal. As disappointing as that new situation was, it seems like McCarthy took it in the spirit of that being show business and not show friends and made for the exit, expecting to be compensated. That's where things appeared to get messy even by Tinseltown standards. Alright, now continuing, when McCarthy went to Lucasfilm and requested to be paid, Lucasfilm denied that they even had an agreement, even though they had made their offer containing all of the material deal points. McCarthy accepted that offer. Lucasfilm had McCarthy start right away, and Lucasfilm sent to McCarthy a memorandum of agreement memorializing the terms, including that McCarthy had already commenced working. In further disregard of McCarthy and the work she had already done, Lucasfilm offered to pay McCarthy $5,000 for a single day's work. Now, McCarthy rejected Lucasfilm's anemic and insulting offer, and even though Lucasfilm acknowledged that McCarthy had in fact performed work for it, Lucasfilm never paid McCarthy for that work. McCarthy and therefore forced to bring this action to hold Lucasfilm accountable for its breach of their agreement, its bad faith denial of that agreement, and for that, statutory penalties. McCarthy is entitled for its failure to pay her for her work. Now, with that earlier statement of the EP losing out of millions of dollars hanging in the air, McCarthy's attorneys Patty Glazer, Robert Allen, and Matthew W. Bernstein are asking for a wide range of unspecified damages. Reps for Lucasfilm did not respond to a request for comment on the lawsuit. If and when they do, we will update, they say. As for The Acolyte itself, there is no Disney Plus debut date yet for the 8-episode series starring Imelda Steinberg. However, we do know that filming has been going on since October of last year on the other side of the pond. Seemingly, with the tone of the Tony Gilroy creator Andor mystery thriller, of course, The Acolytes is set on the murky end of the High Republic era. Now let me just stop right here, alright? Now if you guys want to read the full story, of course, for the most part, it's all linked below in the description. The reason why I do want to talk about this heavily today is it does confirm what we here have been talking about for months, that the Acolyte is a project that is in a downward spiral. It's a project that actually has been treating its creators and employees very wrongfully. Again, this is a Kathleen Kennedy-led project. It is a Kathleen Kennedy-instructed project, meaning, of course, a lot of the creators and the employees are associated with Kathleen Kennedy. And as far as Lucasfilm goes, this is just not how you do business. This is terrible business. And as far as McCarthy goes, I mean, it's a very complicated situation, it really is. And when you look at what Deadline has, been able to put out here when it comes to what's been going on with the Acolyte series, now it's dwindled down to 8 parts. Now, we talked about how just 2 weeks ago, it was going to be a 9-part series. Now it's dwindled down to 8. Originally speaking, it was supposed to be a 12-parter series, and that's not even happening anymore. So this is something that has been going on for a very long time now when it comes to reshoots and rewrites and a lot of problems arising, and this is the latest big example of a problem associated with the Acolyte series. We'll continue to talk more and more about this throughout the week and whatever developments come out of this, but anyways, we do know that John and Dave on the other end of the spectrum are focusing on really restructuring Lucasfilm, bringing it back to the way it used to be. It's exactly why Bob Iger is allowing them to have so many privileges over the company and even allowing George Lucas to take control over many aspects of the company in different departments, including eventually leading the story group by 2024. So keep that in mind as well, is that they're also trying to do that. So yeah, guys, I mean, like I say, the Acolyte series is not looking good. It's not looking like it's going to release by spring of next year. In fact, I think you're going to get another delay after this whole news coming out. So anyways, guys, fill me in below in the comments what you guys have to say about all of this. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.